What is up, everybody? We are out in Vegas, uSTADIUM. We are here. We are ready. We are ready to freaking go. We're going to Allegiant Stadium. How do you say Allegiant Stadium? We're going to the freaking Super Bowl, y'all. We're going to be at Media Week in about an hour. We're going to do Media Day, opening night. We are ready to freaking go. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to play the San Francisco 49ers in Super Bowl LVIII. I'm going to give you some props that I got for you because I'm going to win you some money. So I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to go hard, baby. We're going to make this city remember our name. Even though I hate Las Vegas, I will say they put on a great show. They got a lot of stuff going on. They got the conventions, the casinos. They got all these food halls. They got all this nonsense. Gordon Ramsay's got Hell's Kitchen restaurant that you got to spend freaking $200 to get a cheeseburger over there. But you know what? We're out here in Vegas, and we are ready to freaking go. I'm going to introduce the squad here. They're going to come on soon. We got Splash, our stats guy in the house, Mr. Splash. When you make uSTADIUM takes on the app, he is the one that you're going to look at, and he's the one that you're going to have to deal with if your take doesn't hit. So one take that we have tonight that we just made on the app is my favorite take of the day. George Kittle. Take George Kittle over 48.5 receiving yards. George Kittle is going to kill it in Super Bowl LVIII. George Kittle, baby. The San Francisco 49ers and Kyle Shanahan are trying to redeem what they didn't do 3 years ago and what they're 4 years ago, right? It was 2020. They're going to try to win a Super Bowl finally. Kyle Shanahan was also part of that Atlanta Falcons debacle where they lost to the Patriots 28-3. But yeah, we're out here in Vegas. I'm just trying to get a feel for the city. It's not my favorite city in the world, but you know what? We make do. We make things happen out here. You know, you're going to lose money at the casino. You might win $100 like Jason did, and you're going to lose $100 like Jason did last night in the same night. That's Las Vegas for you. But yeah, with that being said, yeah, we're just getting a pulse for what's going on. Super Bowl LVIII. That's Super Bowl 58. Yes, I say LVIII because it's easier than remembering 58. In my opinion, how this game's going to go is this. It's going to be a very high-paced game, in my opinion. I would take the over. I think both teams are going to come out and just going to put everything on the table. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes have done things where they will play slow and steady. Patrick Mahomes will game manage until he doesn't need to game manage, which he doesn't have to do necessarily all the time. But when he does, he does. It's going to be a high-scoring affair. So if I'm looking at this game, I'm taking Kansas City scoring 35+. I'm taking San Francisco scoring 31+. With that being said, I have Kansas City Chiefs 37, San Francisco 49ers 34. One of the highest scoring Super Bowls in NFL history. I'm going to give it to you straight. That's how I feel, and that's how it's going to go. I'm telling you right now, I think both teams, their defenses are good. I think San Francisco's been a little bit lackluster, especially stopping the run. So you look at someone like Pacheco, who might have a nice game, but it's Patrick Mahomes always, and that's always how it's going to go. He is the best quarterback, not only of today's game, but one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. That's including, I think he might be even better than Tom Brady. I think Patrick Mahomes is better than Tom Brady. Is that crazy to say? The guy is the best we've ever seen. Now, he's won 2 Super Bowls. One of them, he beat the San Francisco 49ers. He beat Kyle Shanahan before. What is Kyle Shanahan going to do? How is Kyle Shanahan going to deal with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in that offense? What's he going to do? Is he going to be able to score enough points with Brock Purdy? Brock Purdy wins. He'll be the lowest drafted player ever to win a Super Bowl. Obviously, he's mystery relevant. Will they be able to score enough points to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't think so. But again, I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I think both teams are going to cook. I think it's going to be a game that we're going to remember for a long time. And it's going to be a situation where Andy Reid is putting himself in the top 5 head coach is of all time conversation, and he's going to want to stamp his legacy. I don't think Andy Reid's going to retire, but I just think Patrick Mahomes is too good as a head coach, as a quarterback, with that head coach to not win this game. These are games you win. Mahomes has lost a Super Bowl. Great quarterbacks do not lose multiple Super Bowls this early. They can, but they usually don't. So I see Patrick Mahomes winning his third Super Bowl at the age of 28, and that's saying a lot. So being out here in Vegas with the uSTADIUM squad, we got Jason in the house. We got Ryan, my man, Mr. Waffle House, right out here. We're about to go in, boys. About to have a little day, media day, opening night starting up, media week's just opening up in the next hour or so. But yeah, just giving a quick shout out over here. But yeah, we are let me check the stream really quick. Check the Twitter. We don't go live often. We're gonna get this thing moving a little bit. You know what I mean? We're gonna see what's going on. I think Dion's coming on. But yeah, it's a game where, listen, if the 49ers want to win this game, they need Nick Bosa and that San Francisco D-line to get after Patrick Mahomes. That's going to be the biggest thing going into this game, because Mahomes is going to be able to do what he wants to do. Patrick Mahomes can game manage. He can light you up. He can drop 30 on your head, but he could also manage it out and just win a close game. So we're going to see what's going to happen. But if the San Francisco 49ers want to win this game, they need their defensive line to get after Patrick Mahomes. That is the only thing that San Francisco should worry about, because Kansas City, with Joe Thuney maybe not playing, their offensive line is a little bit iffy. So how will the San Francisco D-line be able to effectively get pressure on Mahomes consistently? We've seen it with the Patriots and the Giants, those Super Bowls. How do you beat Tom Brady, the GOAT? You beat him by getting pressure on him. Will the San Francisco 49ers D-line, specifically Nick Bosa, how will that D-line be able to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes and that Chiefs offense? Because if you don't get pressure on them, they will do whatever the hell they want to do. And with that being said, I'm going to bring on a GOAT, a uSTADIUM legend, or soon-to-be legend. He's got a long way to go, bro. Dion, you got a long way to go in this company, but you know what? You've been doing a good thing, brother. Let's get him on. We got Big D in the house.
What's up, bro?
Giants fan.
Yo,
Big boy Giants fan.
This new
I don't even know why you're on this
beautiful.
stream. You're not a Jets fan. You're not a Chiefs or 49ers fan. I don't even know why you're allowed up here, but you know what?
Super Bowl stream, bro. Come on. You know
Damn right, brother.
Come on.
How do you see this game going? Break it down for me, bro.
I think that it's going to be a super high-scoring game. Like, weirdly,
you're copying me.
Like, I didn't even hear what you said, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think that the Chiefs' defense is good and the 49ers' defense is good, but both have shown their flaws this season. I really, really like Chris Jones and all those dudes, but, like, I don't know, bro. I don't see it.
I think it might be the highest scoring Super Bowl ever.
Yeah,
I don't think either defense, even though Kansas City's defense is very good, ranked top 5 on PFF and all these next gen stats sites, I don't think that they're that good. Like, I don't think they're good enough where they're going to be able to necessarily offset the stuff that San Francisco can do on offense. And I think Kittle's going to have a day. I think Debo's going to have a day, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be enough.
I'm not sure about Kittle, especially, or maybe Kittle does have a big game, considering the last game he barely got any work until like the latter part of the game. Like, I think he only had a couple catches on the stretch. I think like 3 or 4 receptions, nothing crazy from Kittle last week at least. And I feel like Debo also really didn't do that much. I don't know. I like Ayuk to have a pretty decent game. I think that Ayuk needs to be involved in the offense if they want to win this game. Like, he's your guy that could absolutely flip a game on its head with one big play. I mean, we saw what they did against the Lions. You could call it luck, you could call it whatever it is, but great receivers make great plays. And that was a great play by Brandon Ayuk, and I expect more of that this week. It depends. For me, it's all about what Purdy does. I feel like at the start of the Lions game, we saw the line becomes like a little bit too I don't know if he gets like weirdly confused in the pocket at the start of games, trying to read defenses and trying to see what defenses are throwing at him. But like he gets a lot of batted balls, a lot of weird, stuff at the
Yeah.
line that it feels like he's a little bit too small sometimes. I know that's weird to say. Obviously, he's like doesn't have the build of some of the rest of these dudes, but he can make plays down the stretch, and you saw it last week. But it was mostly with his legs and not his arms. So that's another thing the Chiefs are going to have to worry about.
No, man, you're right. I agree 100%. Looking at the highest scoring Super Bowls scores of all time, it's I think 75 points is the highest ever. So my score 37-34 wouldn't be the highest, it'd be 71. But I think this game, I don't trust either defense. I really don't. I know McDuffie's a great corner. I know, they got, Ladarius Sneed. But I think San Francisco's going to score. And the thing with Patrick Mahomes is even if you score against him, he will find a way to score back. He'll score right away. He's the best.
You see it, especially like against the Bills, all those games against Allen. It seems like even Josh Allen can't do enough, right? Like every time you score, you make a big play, they turn around and they do the same thing. And that the highest scoring Super Bowl game was actually between the 49ers and the Chargers. So maybe the 49ers can be a part of history again, potentially.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're 100% right, man. And the other thing about this game, too, is I want to see what the game plan will be on the 49ers side. How are they going to come out? Because they need to score fast. They need to score early. They need to, get up early on Kansas City so they can slow play it with CMC and the way that they.
Yeah, what happened in Detroit is not. You can't do that. Like you can't get behind 20 against the Chiefs and expect to win that game. The Chiefs are the team. Well, now they in prior years, no, but this year they have the defense where you give them anything more than a 14-point lead and the game's over. At least from what we've seen this season, especially in the playoffs. The 49ers, it seems like it's been the opposite. They've been, a little bit down in these games. Even the Green Bay game, I wasn't really impressed by them, to be honest. Like, I feel like they've been struggling this entire postseason, but I mean, they're in the Super Bowl now, so I don't want to take anything away from them. But they're going to have their work cut out for them, especially on offense. I mean, it's not going to be easy. And if you don't 100%. Get CMC involved early, I feel like I don't know.
Well, the thing with CMC is the way that the Niners like to play too. Like you'll see them in the first half, they won't necessarily overfeed CMC necessarily early on. They'll sort of slow play it out.
A lot of
they'll get him cooking in the second half because Kyle Shanahan knows, especially with running backs, he doesn't want to overuse someone too early. There's a certain amount of wear and tear you can take as a running back throughout even a game, not necessarily just a season or a career. So he won't use CMC early too often, but I'm curious to see in the Super Bowl if maybe he'll start feeding them and getting them involved early. But listen, the Niners have an offense where they have so many pieces that can hit home runs, as they say, can take it to the house. You have Debo, you have Kittle, you have CMC. So they might pop off early, and they need to, is my thing. If the Niners want to win this game, and I think they have a shot, even though I have KC, the Niners can win this game if they get their best players or some of the best offensive players in the game the ball early. Maybe they hit a few home runs and they're able to go up early on Kansas City. But this is also a big game. It is. This is also a big game, dude, from Kansas City's perspective, because you have legacies on the line. You have Mahomes and Andy Reid that are trying to stamp themselves in their own respective categories as being top five. So you're looking at Mahomes looking at being a top five quarterback of all time. Andy Reid, a top five head coach of all time. So if they win this game, this really stamps their legacy throughout NFL, in the record books, man, in NFL history. And they're going to, if they lose, then people start thinking. But big news, Nick says.
Yeah, I just saw.
Roger Goodell announces the Eagles will host a Brazil game this year. Maybe Nick Sirianni will be coaching a Brazilian soccer team soon, the way he's been coaching. But And that will be played on the Friday night of the opening weekend, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. All right. I see that. You know what big news I want, though? I want Robert Saleh to be fired soon or a mutual departing. I'm really waiting for that to happen. So hopefully that'll happen soon.
Keep
And then
waiting.
him and your guy, Brian Daboll, they can go to Cancun together in a few years. And
Listen,
actually,
I'll say this much about
they
Dable.
feel like
If
more
the season
Bahamas guys, like all-inclusive resort kind of guys. I feel like they are,
Cancun,
but
I
yeah.
feel like they're Cancun guys. Or no, that's the NBA
No,
player.
they're not cool enough for Cancun. They're kind of lame. So I feel like St. Martin is more in their ballpark. You know, all you can eat
Listen,
buffets.
I'll say this
They had
much
bacon, egg, and
about
cheeses in the
Dable.
morning.
If they don't have a successful season this year, I mean, let's see what they do here. I mean, I figured that they're going to draft a QB, let him sit for a year under.
You think so?
If they want to keep their jobs, I mean, that's probably their best excuse to give John Mara at the end of the season if all else, screws up. If Daniel Jones is a complete disaster this year, I mean, you're really going to have nothing else to hang your head on. I heard there's a report after the Senior Bowl saying that they're looking to sign a veteran quarterback after this season, which I don't know. I don't like that idea at all. I think that you've got to draft your guy right now. There's so much talent in this draft of the quarterback position. It would kind of be a waste not to. But if Dable really, really screws up next year, I could see John Mara giving Bill B a call. Maybe that's why Bill B didn't want to, sign anywhere this season. That could potentially
Dion,
be
let me tell you something, man. I'm just gonna keep it a band. The Giants made a big mistake giving Daniel Jones that money. They didn't have an option. But they made a mistake because Daniel Jones is not that guy. He's not. You don't pay a guy like that $40 million. You had another option in Tyrod Taylor, but again, you can't go into a season depending on Tyrod Taylor. However, sometimes, and I always say this, I say this to Jet fans, and I say this often, sometimes it's okay to suck for a few years to then rebuild yourself into something that is like what the Texans did this year. You need to suck at points to then get higher, picks, build assets, and be able to then move forward from there. And I think the Giants kind of, Belichick to the Giants next year. It's possible, but that's the thing, man. Like if you open yourself up to opportunities where you're not constantly mediocre or above average, and you're not going to win like that, it sets yourself up to maybe win a Super Bowl or build some sort of dynasty down the line. And I think that's the problem you see with a lot of teams in sports. I see it with the Jets. Sometimes it's good to suck, even though we've sucked for a while, but like instead of going 7-10 this year, maybe going 4-13, 5-12, getting Joe Alt, you put yourself in a position that you can maybe win a Super Bowl at some point. It's not good being middle of the pack for too long. And I think the Giants giving Daniel Jones that money kind of is just like saying, oh, we're going to be like average for, 3 to 4 years.
Listen, at the time of the contract, it was what the market was demanding, at least as far as quarterbacks are being paid. I know that people see the number and they're like a little bit shell-shocked, but he did just bring us to a playoff win 2 seasons ago, and he did win us a playoff game as hard as it is to believe. He did do those things. I know that we got absolutely mollywopped by the Eagles, and we've had no success against the Eagles nor the Cowboys besides the last game this season, weirdly enough. That's really like created success for us in the NFC East. Like it's impossible. Like if you can't beat those 2 teams, you're not going to be able to build a sustainable winner.
I agree.
Those are the guys right in front of you. So before you start worrying about everyone else in the NFC, those are the guys that you need to chase. And it feels like we've been chasing them for 3 years now, specifically the Eagles more so than the Cowboys. I feel like the Cowboys are whatever. I don't really, as a Giants fan, I'll be the first to tell you, or younger Giants fan.
The thing with the Cowboys is this. The thing with the Cowboys is this. McCarthy's won 12 games, 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Average, right? Or he's won what? 12 games, 3 years in a row? You can't substitute for that. So like Cowboys fans or fans saying, oh, fire McCarthy. grass is not always greener on the other side. I tell people this with the Jets and Joe Douglas.
Yeah.
Grass is not greener getting rid of Joe Douglas. It's just not. With McCarthy, it's not going to be greener necessarily. You might get a head coach that's even worse than what you've had. 12 winning 12 games ain't easy.
Joe Douglas's situation and McCarthy's situation are very different, though. McCarthy's been there, been winning and failing in the playoffs, whereas Douglas hasn't even gotten there yet. But he has drafted the talent to do so. It's just that he's failed so massively with the quarterback position that he gets another, not another go at it, but Rodgers gets injured this year, and of course he's getting another season with Salah. How could you not?
100%. But yeah, Splash wants to jump on the stream. We're gonna get our statistician, Mr. Ryan Potts, Mr. Splash, the guy that is responsible for all of the takes in settling of takes in the uSTADIUM app. He's responsible for settling them all. I don't even know how you
when
do
you
it,
make
dude.
money, it is Splash helping you get
You're
that
damn
money.
right. Well, I'm gonna pass it over. We're gonna get ready. By the way, uSTADIUM, we out here in Vegas. We're about to go to opening night, media day. We will be out there. I'm gonna try to ask Patrick Mahomes a question. I'm gonna ask him a question about Taylor Swift, and I'm gonna see if he answers it. I'm gonna get out there, guys. I'm not here to make friends. It's all business as usual.
He's not playing no games in
we'll
Vegas.
pass the Splash, and after we'll go to Jason. And yo, D, you're the man, dude.
Yeah, sir. Good talking to you, bro.
Yo, what's popping? What's popping,
What up, brother? How are you, Splash? How is it over there? Vegas looking good, treating you guys well?
It's raining right now, so yeah, that's how it's going. Shout out Schwavy in the chat. Yo, how's it going?
What up, bro?
Holy crap, Frankie's mouse pad is electric. I got a lock. I'm gonna come in real close. I got a lock for you guys.
Tell me.
Here we go. This is plus 106. Plus 106. This is going to make you some money next Sunday. Chiefs plus 7.5. Parlay that with over 43.5. Plus 106. Free
I like
money.
it. My initial Chiefs plus 7.5. So that's an alternate spread.
Yes, Chiefs plus 7.5 alternate spread. Move that line by 5 points, 5.5 points, and then over 44.5. That's line moved by 3 points. That's plus 106. That's how you win. This is how you win money.
So Nick over here says,
okay, we can do that. We can do that.
I don't know. Nick is one of the first people I've seen say that the game is going to be a lower scoring game. I feel like everyone I've talked to, for the most part, feels like it's going to be a big offense game. What do you think, Splash?
I think the line is right. I would go a little bit lower. I do respect Kansas City's defense a lot, and San Francisco I respect their defense a lot. So I see where Nick's coming from. Nick, if you want to get in on that train, here's a bet for you that I'm going to pull up. So you have Chiefs winning that. So I'll give you a pro Chiefs line here. Okay, here's a line for you, Nick. This is plus 142 for Nick. Chiefs plus 4. Under 50 points, plus 142. If you want to print money, that's a way to print money. Right there. Under 50, Chiefs plus 4. So if you want to get some even still plus money, you can move that line out a little bit more.
I like it. Nick over here says this is how KC has played in the playoffs. They're slower, pace of play type team. Mm-hmm. I do agree with that. I definitely do agree with that, but under the circumstances of playing the 49ers and the way the 49ers have been playing, they've been giving up a shit ton of points in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I don't see a way where either of these teams' defenses has a good game. I think that 49ers offense is due to explode here. So I don't know. To me, this has overwritten all over it. Mm-hmm. But you did see it in the second half of the game against the Ravens, right? Where you just
the Chiefs scored 0 points.
They scored 0 points. Props to the Ravens defense, but not props to Lamar.
Okay, this is a podcast for another time. All right, if you do not like Chiefs plus 4, if you want to have a little bit more leeway, under 50, that's minus 150. Chiefs plus 7.5. You get out to a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes doesn't lose games by more than a touchdown. It's happened like twice in 3 years.
Yeah,
the Bills blow out. You lost the Super Bowl. That's about it ever. So if you like that, plus 104, put in $100, you win 104. You're more than doubling your money right there. So under 50, plus 7.5 on the Chiefs. Or if you
I like it
and go with mine, you can go my line again. plus 7.5 Chiefs, over 44.5. Actually, both of those could hit. You could make a lot of money if you get the score between 45 and 50 points. So just saying. Jason, do you want to come on?
Yeah.
All right. Shout out uSTADIUM. Here's
Shout out
Jason.
you. Way to talk to. Way to be Splash.
D, how we doing, my boy?
What's up, Jay? Looking
Good to
good.
see
Looking
you,
sharp.
man.
in this
Thank
suit.
you. Thank you. We're about to be at Allegiant Stadium, ready to get going. Go meet the players, go meet the coaches, get some good content. First
Opening
off,
night should be good. Should
it
be good.
be good. We got 3 great sponsors, so I got 3 great props. Shout out to the folks at TickPick, Rhythm, and RotoWire. And I got 3 props. I don't even have the odds in front of me. All I know is it's going to be green after the game. Give me Chiefs money line. Obviously, I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Give me Patrick Mahomes over 1.5 touchdowns. I don't love the odds on it straight. It's minus 140, but it
Oof.
seems inevitable.
Yeah.
And give me a Rashee Rice touchdown. Everyone's going to be betting Travis Kelce, all this Taylor Swift hype.
Everyone's definitely going to be betting Kelce and Pacheco, both of those guys.
There's a way to exploit this San Fran defense, and we saw Jameson Williams do it last week. There's shots to take against this secondary, and I think Rashee Rice has become one of Mahomes' favorite targets. I love him as a talent, and I think he's finding the end zone. So those are my 3 props, but
I like them all. They all sound
there's going to
great.
be a huge live bet opportunity on Kansas City in this game. San Fran's going to come out and they're going to run the ball against Kansas City because Baltimore didn't do it last week. And that's why they're not here in Vegas with us.
That's what I'm thinking.
And I just triggered some PTSD in Splash. So San Fran's going to do what Baltimore didn't do. They're going to run the ball. You can't really – it's hard to throw the ball against the Chiefs defense. They got a great secondary, but you can run it against them. So I think Christian McCaffrey – his yards are going to smash. The over yards are going to smash. They're going to run the ball. They're going to have long, sustained drives. They're going to try to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field as long as they can. And there's going to be a drive at the end of this game, late in the game, where Patrick Mahomes seals his legacy. He's not going to be 2-2 in the Super Bowl, I can tell you that. I'm not going to be the guy that's betting against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I'm just not going to.
I've been saying that all postseason, and well, not postseason, I'm sorry, all playoffs. It's obvious for me, and it's been obvious for the past couple of years. I mean, this guy's come onto the scene playing quite literally at the top of his game, and I don't know. To bring this Chiefs team that everyone was downing during this entire season, saying that the offense wasn't the same, that the defense did improve, but not significant enough for them to carry it down the stretch into the playoffs, and then to come out like this with a rookie as your wide receiver 1 and be balling out on this level. How do you fade this guy? This is the guy. Like when you think of the all-time greats and we look back on this stream in whatever 3-4 years, whatever it may be, Mahomes is the dude. He's the guy. He's the next one up. I don't want to say the next Brady, but I mean, how do you fade someone with this level of greatness, bro? That's my question.
I think it's pretty fair to say when you have a group of weapons that consist of Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, and a bunch of DBs, basically, because the receivers
Marquez Valdez, Scanling.
His line is at 1.5 receptions. That is so insulting as a guy that's playing over 75% of snaps. He's gonna get targets. You just know he's not gonna catch the ball. But I want to. We got Dimitri in the chat saying Kelce game-winning touchdown with 25 seconds left.
Yeah. Oof.
This guy might have already seen the game. He might know something.
But it's my boy, Dimitri. He knows.
I just feel like this game comes down to it late in the game. I feel like it'll be a little reminiscent of last year's Super Bowl where the Eagles were up, and obviously Mahomes had the ankle last year, so it was like at halftime you kind of knew the script was already kind of being written for that Chiefs comeback. I think we're gonna see something really similar. I don't think they're gonna make Brock Purdy the Niners game plan is going to be very like Brock Purdy heavy. It's going to be a lot of McCaffrey, a lot of dunk down the field. I love pretty much all the San Fran receptions overs. I don't know necessarily about receiving yards. That's probably not something I'm going to take as much, but there's going to be a lot of Kittle, a lot of Debo, a lot of crossers, a lot of McCaffrey, and they're going to keep Patrick Mahomes off this field as long as he can. And then when the opportunity presents itself, it might be a game-winning field goal. It might be a game-winning touchdown. I don't know. We'll see. But that's how this game is going to go. And that sounds
like the formula for the 49ers. I mean, just, keep the ball out of Mahomes' hand because when it's in his hand, more than likely they're going to score I mean, that's just the way it's been all year. The 49ers defense scares me a little bit. I think that they have to show up. They're the key in all of this. Like, you could have a great game on offense, but you can't get into a shootout with the Chiefs and expect to win. So,
Yeah.
The defense has to, show up.
We got Frankie in the chat saying Mahomes 270 yards, 3 touchdowns. I don't hate it. 3, I know you can get it plus money on some good odds. I just think that, like, based off what I was saying, I don't think there's going to be a lot of time where Kansas City has the ball early in the game. It's going to be that late, big comeback drive. I really think that's how this game goes. And that's why I'm going to take the Chiefs before kickoff, and then there's going to be multiple live bet opportunities. I might double, triple dip like I did at the roulette table last night, and now I'm down 110 after being up 250. But that
come on, Jay. Come on.
That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. Hey, Frankie was telling me Frankie had no chips in the table. He's telling me bet 0 and double 0. And that's why he's like, yo, can I hold the 20? I'm like, no.
0 and double 0. I mean, listen, if you play it smart, if you do like the small tables and you do 0 double 0, you get lucky. You can make a couple $100.
Yeah,
but,
it's never about that. But
yeah, never.
Yeah, we got.
Let's see what we got over here.
Wavy's thinking the same thing too.
Kyle says my hot take: Purdy 1+ passing and 1+ rushing touchdown. Yeah, I could see it 2 scores, so that would cash us anytime. If you like a Purdy anytime touchdown, I mean, you could definitely take that. But to me, I don't. You know what? Thinking about it now, the way that Purdy uses legs at the end of the game against Detroit, it could happen. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Let's see what happens here. I have a feeling that the Chiefs defense will take care of that in a sense. I don't think they're going to let Purdy get too, wild out of the pocket. The Chiefs defense is pretty good at containing runners. Look what we did to Lamar. Not what we look at what they did to Lamar last week. I don't know if that was necessarily them or the Lamar had to, didn't really want to run so much, or the game plan or the script didn't have Lamar running in it that much, but they contained Lamar, so they should not have an issue containing Purdy outside of the pocket.
Kyle, I love that prop because everyone and their mother is going to take McCaffrey 2 touchdowns because there's so much juice on the 1 anytime. So I could see him scoring like 1 touchdown, and you think they'll get down to like the 2-3 yard line. You think it's going to be an easy McCaffrey 2nd touchdown to cash that 2 touchdowns, and then Purdy runs it in. Especially in the Super Bowl, I feel like we've seen historically there's always some creative red zone play calling. I feel like Shanahan can go deep into the bag of tricks there, go to Purdy. And like you said, Purdy was really getting the legs going, getting the ground game going, just adding another layer into that explosive offense. So I feel like that's one of those things where it's going to be a Purdy vulture for McCaffrey 2 touchdowns because, like I said, there's no value on betting McCaffrey 1 touchdown unless you're parlaying it with the Niners or something else. So,
and at that point, it's it probably is a lock for him to score, but there's no. To me, an anytime touchdown bet is so risky that if you're not getting it at plus money, it's almost kind of pointless unless you really, really know the guy's going to score. Like, I guess McCaffrey would be that person, but it is the Super Bowl. You never know. Weird shit happens in these games all the freaking time. There's always, one. I don't want to say always, but I feel like there's a lot of Super Bowls where guys left things to be desired. A lot of big players, don't really show up in the moment. I don't want to say that McCaffrey's going to do that. McCaffrey is definitely that dude and has probably been waiting for this moment his entire life. So I don't doubt him, but Super Bowl, what is it, like -200 for him to score?
It's somewhere around there. -210 is what Splash is.
-210. I don't, I don't like it. For me, anything that isn't plus is just an absolute waste, at least on an anytime touchdown bet. For me.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. I will probably throw it in more than one parlay, to be completely honest with you.
Because it'll hit. It will hit. I mean, it's just an extra.
It's like a free square. It's a free square. You throw it in a little, watch the odds go up a little bit.
Yeah. Like that's nothing you're throwing straight,
Yeah.
Not at all.
But that's why I like Kyle's take, because the people that are going to get greedy with it and take the plus money, at least it should be plus money if the anytime is -210 with the McCaffrey 2 touchdowns. I think
Purdy's plus.
Purdy's going to vulture one, or maybe Debo rushing on a little end around, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I could definitely see that. I could also see weirdly, like, I don't know what the odds are, but Juszczyk getting some weird broken play. You know, like I feel like they get a lot of even the game against Detroit last week, they got him involved a weird amount of times. I don't want to say that they're going to do it again, but it seems like on those broken plays where everything is just, kind of scrambling around, it seems like he's always an option. So I could see Juice getting one potentially.
Juszczyk scored in the last Super Bowl, by the way. He had a 15-yard touchdown from Jimmy.
There you go. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. So, I don't know what the odds are on that, but
that's the perfect kind of goal line look too. You just run it with Juszczyk right down the gut of their defense.
Maybe not something the Chiefs would be expecting either. I mean, you never know.
And
CMC opens up so many things for them, dude. I mean,
their run defense, though, Kansas City is just really suspect, and it just makes that Baltimore game even more mind blowing. And how did you run the ball with your running backs? What was it, 4-6 times?
So Gus Edwards had like 3 carries.
Yeah, Splash is not happy with me right now, but that game plan was crazy, and I think that ironically, the film is teach tape of like what not to do. You run the ball at Kansas City, and you run it, and you run it, and you run it again. That's got to be the script for San Fran, and there's probably gonna be a time where people holding Chiefs tickets at that point are starting to feel a little nervous, but then you got to remember you're betting on 15. And 15 will not go 2-2 in the Super Bowl. He just won't do it.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
He'll finish this game 3-1 in the Super Bowl, and we will have legitimate GOAT conversations because he's on that arc.
I see it. I see the same. Let's see what Nick said over here. Someone other than Purdy throws a touchdown for San Fran. I mean, that's an insane take. Like, actually an insane take. I mean, those little, trick plays, Philly specials, whatever the hell you want to call it. I mean, you don't see them often, but when they do happen in the Super Bowl, especially in the Super Bowl, they're freaking amazing. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to be letting any trick plays and happen on them. I know that their defensive coordinator, what's his name? I forgot. Spags, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, that's not happening on Spags. Let's be real. I don't see that happening. But
I'm gonna say the opposite, and you know why? We know how much San Fran hates Philly. I could totally see them pulling out the Philly special while Philly's watching from home.
Or a tush push. I could see a tush push.
Yeah, the Philly special in the Super Bowl with San Fran running it would just be crazy because there's legitimate beef between those two teams. And I think they still think about that NFC Championship game last year, losing literally every single person on your roster that can throw. So there's definitely some added motivation there.
And then Debo coming out afterwards and saying that if they had Purdy, they would have won that game. And what do you have it? They're back in the Super Bowl. Not back in the Super Bowl, but they're in the Super Bowl this year. So, I mean, let's see.
I want to bring up, though, that Nick Bosa clip. They asked him, what do you think of the Chiefs' offensive line? And he goes, they hold a lot. That's going to be an old takes exposed. I can pretty much guarantee you that.
So that's to me, all that is just letting the refs know the last time I was in the Super Bowl, I was getting held like an MFer. So, just keep your eyes open. I think that's just like a more of a warning thing to the referees than anything else. Just trying to get that out there, get that in their heads, thinking a little bit. And that's just me, though. I don't think it's anything more than that.
All right, so D, before we wrap up, because we got a little bit over an hour until opening night kicks off, we're going to head down to Allegiant. Give me your score prediction and your winner.
Oof, score prediction and winner. Okay, so
I know you like the over, so I expect a
I do like the overs. So what's the over set at exactly? What's the number?
47.5 per splash to stat wins.
Okay, I'm gonna go 30, 35, 31. Does that sound right?
All right.
35, 31 Chiefs.
And you're taking the Chiefs? I'm going 31-27. I know the way I broke down the game, it kind of sounds like it trends under with the Niners trying to run the ball a lot and not seeing a lot of Patrick Mahomes. Maybe there's a little defensive score. Maybe Brock Purdy throws the pick six that he's been lucky with not getting because he should have thrown a couple in this playoffs by now. Plus 450 for a pick six. That's horrible odds, but I could see it happening. I won't bet it, but I could see it happening. I'm taking the Chiefs 31-27. Late score. Probably less than a minute left in the game. Chiefs will be down to their maybe like 2 timeouts, and it's the Pat Mahomes legacy drive. 3-1 in the Super Bowl as a starter, and he's put in the GOAT conversation.
We'll see, bro. We'll see. I could see that happening also. I think Mahomes can definitely will definitely get the job done here. I also agree, bro. 3-1 for Mahomes. He's getting it done.
I just think the storyline aspect of it. Do we have
forget it, bro, with the
new GOAT, or do we have Mr. Irrelevant taking down
it either
the
way,
GOAT?
whoever wins this game is gonna be crowned a legend in their respective city. And Purdy, if he wins this game, you can't say anything about him anymore. You can't say he's a system quarterback. You can't say he's game manager. You can't say any of those things. As much as I'm not a fan of Purdy. If he wins this game, there's no denying that he's he's in the upper echelon of quarterbacks in this league. He has to be.
Well, all right. There you have it with our score predictions. We're both on Kansas City. I feel like everyone I've talked to in Vegas is on Kansas City, which is weird because that line isn't really moving like you would expect it to. 80% of money.
Yeah, 80% of money is on Kansas City money line.
So the public is all over Kansas City. So it's scary, but I'd rather ride with Mahomes and be with the public than bet against him.
And the public's been getting screwed here these past couple of weeks. I mean, they were on Ravens. I'm pretty sure they were on 49ers and almost had a massive scare. I mean, let's call it how it is. The Lions could have won that game, or they could have tied that game.
They should have won that game.
They should have won that game.
And I think Green Bay could have beat San Fran as well.
That's why. So I feel a Chiefs dub here, man.
I do too, man. I do too. We're rocking with the Chiefs. All right, for all those that tuned in, be on the lookout. We're about to head down to Allegiant Stadium, get you guys some more content. Yeah. And D, we'll chat soon again, brother. All right?
Yes, sir. Sounds good, bro.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll talk soon.
Appreciate it. See you guys soon.